Welcome to another episode of the NLW podcast. It's been a while. I think it's been like a month now at this point since I've done one. And we have a very special guest, so I'm not going to wait to introduce you. You can introduce yourself. It's UnraveledPictures. Say hello to the people.
What's good, everyone?
How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing real good.
Yeah, this is the first time we've actually spoken over the phone, so I didn't know what your voice was like before.
Really?
I mean, you've probably done voiceover work on your animations, but I don't think we've talked like one-on-one like this.
Yeah, this is the first time.
Yeah, so just before we really start off, just kind of give people a brief summary of who you are and what you do.
All right. So for those who don't know me, I also do stop motion animation. I do a ton of different things like Marvel, I guess superheroes, sometimes Transformers, Ninja Turtles, Dragon Ball Z. What else I do? I do a lot. Sonic sometimes. It really depends because I'm really into a lot of different things. So honestly, I try to film like just about everything I like.
Anything with figures and stuff like that you're into then?
Yeah.
I remember when I first started this podcast, no joke, you were actually one of the first people I wanted to get on, because I remember a couple of years ago we started, I noticed you, or you might have I can't exactly remember how it went, but your animations caught my eye, and as a fellow stop motion person, I mean, you do it a lot better than me, to be fair, but the animations I've seen from you are really, really cool. And again, you've got that range there. So in terms of like, how did you start, maybe not just stop motion in like how you started that or how you got into that, but also how you kind of came up with the name of your channels and your kind of overall brand?
All right. So I guess how I got into stop motion, no joke, it's actually two different reasons. So the first one is, so way back in the day when YouTube started, like 2006, I believe. I remember as a little kid, somehow I figured out how to get to YouTube. I remember I was at the time, funny enough, I was only into like wrestling. So I went on Google, I typed in like WWE like toys or whatever, and somehow that brought me to YouTube. And I then somehow stumbled across stop motion animation. Now, I didn't know what that was, so I showed it to my cousin, and somehow he figured it out. And pretty much at the time, we didn't have iPhones or anything like that, so we found an old camera, and we were just like trying stop motion on like this camera. We didn't know what we were doing, but I never really got into it like that until I saw the movie Coraline, and that movie is a stop motion movie. And since I saw that as a kid, I was like, yeah, I want to learn how to do that. So it started off really by just me doing like WWE stop motions, and then it evolved into like different things. Then after that, I tried like Legos, and then from there I just started doing like, I went back to like actual like figures and stuff, and it just evolved from there.
That's cool. I mean, Coraline as well, one of my favorite movies also. I think I wrote my dissertation thesis on that, actually. Big brain stuff. But it's very much, like you, I kind of got into it from, I don't know how prominent it is over there, but Wallace and Gromit, do you know that?
I don't know if I heard of that one, honestly.
And have you heard of Chicken Run?
Chicken Run?
All right, go and watch Chicken Run when we've done this. Yeah, it's the best film ever. That's stop motion. All right, it's like The Great Escape but with chickens. But regardless, like we'll talk about your.
Oh wait, yes, my fault. Yes, I definitely do. I had to Google it real quick. I definitely know what you're talking about.
But you kind of more recently you're into your Marvel, your Superman. I sound like an old person. Then. you know your Supermans and your Batmans. No, yeah. But your Spider-Man. Stuff, and I've been seeing a couple of things that you've been posting on Insta, and it's still so sick, like, and the Goku stuff as well. Like, that's something that I've never really been fully into collecting, but the kinds of animations that you guys, like, I'll shout you out as well as XWE owner. They do a lot of really sick superhero action figures, stop motions and animations, and obviously Captain McKay, but most people know who that is.
But, yeah, I know who he is. That's an original right there.
Yeah. So with all the the kind of dioramas and things of that nature, and which you utilize as well. So in terms of your like, I don't want to call it a creative process because it makes it sound all artsy, but you know what I mean. Like your how do you think of these ideas? Is it literally just this? I like these figures. I want to animate with these, or do you have like a set plan of what you want to film and when you want to film it? If you see what I mean.
Yeah. Okay, so it's a bit of a couple of different things, but ultimately it's um I guess I guess the best way for me to explain it is like it's truly I don't want this to sound selfish, but it's truly like what I want. And so it's like all right, I'll give an example, right? So I collect the NECA horror figures like Michael Myers, Jason, Freddy, all those guys. And I'm bringing this up as an example is because when I got into those, I, you know, obviously watched all the movies and I was like, dang, I want to see Michael Myers fight Jason Voorhees. And so pretty much it clicked in my head. I was like, wait, since that movie might never, you know, get made, why don't I do it? So that was an example of like, that's something that I want. So, you know, I just took the time out to like make it myself. And that's one way like how I make videos is like if it hasn't necessarily if it hasn't been made, but if it's something that I want and I know that I have the ability to make it, then I'm gonna do it. Another process is I guess funny enough suggestions from my friends. Because the thing about my channel, a lot of people don't know this. The thing about my YouTube channel is technically yes, it is my channel, but me and my friends kind of run it in a sense. Like we have like this small group that we've had for years, and like we're always like collaborating and helping each other out. So it's like besides that, it's like I'll ask my friends. It's like either what do you guys think I should do with this idea, or if you guys have an idea, you know, like let me know type of thing.
Yeah, I like that. It's like a collaborative effort in that way as well, and it keeps you on your toes in certain way as well that you can, you know, come up with all these cool ideas. But yeah, this sounds sick. There's one question that I've been wanting to ask you. What happened to PWE?
All right,
Where is it? I was like. Back in the day, I'm not, no joke, that's what motivated me to keep going NLW, because seeing the stuff that you were doing with that, like, it's so sick. But, you know, you might have had your reasons for getting rid of it. I remember you had a sick Hiromu Takahashi that we were using. So, you know, my question would be, what happened to PWE Wrestling? And do you still watch wrestling, and do you still collect wrestling figures?
Oh yeah, I still watch wrestling. I try to watch as much as possible. I have freaking tons of wrestling figures. I feel like I have too many now. Legitimately, like I have a giant collection of different things, but like my wrestling collection is like, it's like I have this like giant like container and it's like filling it up, but I'm like, oh my god, like I need to buy another one. But
Yeah.
so with PWE though, so it's not gone. I'm actually gonna bring it back this year. I'm gonna reboot it, and the reason why I stopped doing it is because I'm not gonna lie to you. I was definitely not underprepared, but kind of underestimated it in terms of like I just thought, you know, since I watch wrestling, oh, I have this figured out, and I did not. And just a lot of things at that time, like freaking complications and stuff. Like I had a microphone at the time and it broke, so like the audio was back and forth. I had to use like freaking headphones, the audio from the mic of a headphone to do it. I also forgot how difficult wrestling stop motion is. A lot of people who do stop motion, I feel like don't know this, but it's like just because you know how to do stop motion doesn't mean you know how to do all types of stop motion. Because believe it or not, like you know, it's like they're all different.
Yeah.
Like Dragon Ball Z stop motion is not the same as like WWE stop motion. It's two different things, even though it's all ultimately like the, you know, the fundamentals are the same, but it's not. And I definitely was underestimated how difficult it is. And so yeah, I kind of put it on ice for a bit, but yeah, I'm definitely bringing it back this year though, because now I have better lights. Actually have like got some sets like stages, backstage stuff. I even like used what's his name again? Wrestleistic, I think his the
Oh
guy's
yeah,
name. I bought
yeah.
the printouts for the crowd, so now I actually have a crowd instead of like a blue backdrop that I had before. So yeah, like I'm not prepared to do it, and I'm gonna bring it back in terms of like, so the way how I'm gonna do it is gonna be a bit different, and but pretty much the way I'm gonna do it is, um, I'm going to break them down into like YouTube shorts, and maybe I'll upload them like, all right, so like I'm gonna like put the matches and stuff in certain segments as YouTube shorts, and then put them all together in like one big episode, and then upload that as like a full video. So it's like, both parties, I guess, will have like a bit of everything. So if people
Yeah.
don't want to watch it through the shorts because the length, they can just watch the long video, or they don't want to watch the full video, they want to watch like the matches, I guess, then they can just go to the YouTube shorts and get it faster that way. So yeah, it is 100% making a return this year.
Oh, good. I'm glad we got to the bottom of that. Well, at least I'm glad I got to the bottom of that because I'm excited. But not to say that your other stuff doesn't bang, because it does. It's like I'm surprised though that you say that wrestling stop motion for you is harder. I guess it's what you're experienced with, but to me, the stuff that you do is a hell of a lot more complex than like what I'm doing, because you've got to consider all these different. I think with wrestling, there's only a certain amount of camera angles that you need to use, and not that all the characters move the same, but it's kind of a similar
Yeah.
thing. But with what the Spider-Verse stuff, they all move in a different way, and you've got so many different like angles that you need to shoot at different kind of movements and things, where Spider-Man flying through the air is a lot different than, I don't know, a wrestler delivering like a super kick or something. So but it's it's still cool. I mean, I have a lot of things that I want to do this year that, I don't know, like I want to try and branch out to like Marvel and things of that nature, maybe do some horror stuff. I'm not too sure yet, but if as a stop motion creator, do you have any advice, or maybe just like a video maker in general, do you have any advice for people that you've kind of learned?
Oh, yeah. So for advice, I guess I'll give people is, um, all right. So I guess the biggest thing I learned throughout the years when doing stop motion is, you can obviously do stop motion by yourself, but if you can have people help you, I would definitely recommend that, because I always like to shout out my friends, because I'm not gonna lie to you, like if my group of friends weren't here, I literally would not be doing this. Because a lot of people don't know, this isn't my first channel. This is like my fifth or fourth channel. So if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be really doing this. So I would always recommend for stop motion, if you can get help with it, take the help. Another thing I would recommend is, I actually have this problem myself, believe it or not, is I sometimes don't take my time. Like, I mean, I do take my time, but I also, in a sense, put a timer on myself. And sometimes it does two things, obviously. You can, make something great, or it's just not going to be as good as you hoped. So I would always say, like, take your time, but, don't take too long, because then, you might lose interest in the project or something. And another piece of advice I would give, I would say, try to be different, but all right, it's gonna be hard to explain this one, but like, try to be different in your own way. Like, what I mean by that is, like, think about, I don't want to like put the community on blast or anything like that, but
Do it. It's controversy. Controversy creates cash. Do it.
yeah, it's just, I can tell it's not about being like, if you find someone to be like inspirational, and you want to like I guess, not necessarily like take their style, but like learn it. That's good. Like, it's good to look up to people and be inspired by them, but in turn, like, if this was like rapping, don't steal their flow. Like create your own, but like, you can obviously get inspiration from someone else. Like, don't completely steal it from someone else. And as someone who does stop motion, you can tell like if not necessarily if someone's getting copied, but in a sense, it's like, all right, like you kind of just stole this person's flow. Like, what do you bring to the table? And I would always recommend like discover that about yourself. Is like figure out what is you and how to, in a sense, like emphasize that, like make it more out there.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I think I probably used to have that problem. Not that I was copying people, but I was definitely taking a lot of inspiration and maybe subconsciously trying to emulate a lot of different things that I'd seen. But now it just all comes with experience, really. I imagine when you start out, of course, you're going to take inspiration from a lot of people, but then when you kind of get, what you're doing, you're kind of more in tune with your process. I don't know if I'm just rambling on there, but
No, it makes sense.
Yeah, so you've got your you'll develop your style the more that you kind of make and create. So yeah, very cool. I mean, is there anyone that you watch right now who you would say, oh, they're like top tier in terms of like who you're watching on YouTube and like Insta and all that?
Yeah, so all right, so again, another controversial thing. This is gonna sound a bit funny. My friends still laugh at this. I don't really watch stop motion like that. And the reason why is like I don't know, I've always been like this, like growing up, is like if I like let's just say like something, I'm just gonna stick to that. So what I mean by that is like when I did, when I used to watch stop motion a lot, I would like I really watched only the same people again, like my friends, Swagwave, he's on like the biggest stop motion channels. You're one of the people I still watch to this day. I always watch NLW, whether it's NLW Figs, the podcast, all that stuff. You're definitely one of the YouTubers that I watch a lot.
Hell yeah, that's why I get people on this podcast, is to show my stuff.
Sometimes I don't even sometimes I again I don't want to start anything in the community, but sometimes people who don't do stop motion like pick fed, like I love those things too, like how you pronounce his name, G Natty, I think is how you say the guy's channel. Yeah, he has my favorite pig fed, because like it's like the storyline, like one thing about him, I think like in the last year or two, I think he had like the biggest like channel comeback. Like he like rebranded himself, and it's like he's in a sense like I would say he separated himself, like he has his own feel, and like I really love the storylines he does. So like the voice acting, funny enough, that guy, because of his videos, that's why I like Will Ospreay now, because now every time I see Will Ospreay, I think of his voice actor that does the Will Ospreay's voice, and I just can't get it out of my head. So yeah, those are some channels like stop motion or pig fed and stuff like that I watch.
Yeah, like the production value on Naddy is absolutely insane, and that's something that I've tried to, and that's why honestly I try and not watch Naddy sometimes, because I'm just like, oh, for God's sake, the quality of it is so good, and I'm just like I'm seething internally, because I'm like, that's what you want to aim to, as a creator. You keep wanting to like top yourself and try and get that level of like attention to detail that they've got. So yeah, a lot of the production value obviously over the past like 5 years has gone up exponentially, and the standard is at quite a very good level now, and there's still people starting up and making great content, and yeah, it's good to see. So that's interesting to hear. But this is a wrestling figure podcast and a wrestling podcast, so I'll ask you, are there any recent wrestling figures that you've picked up or you're looking forward to maybe filming with for this upcoming wrestling thing, maybe?
Yeah, so man, I feel like I get, out of all the toys I have, wrestling, like I get like the most. I would say the recent ones, God, I feel like I get a figure every day. It's kind of a problem, I'm not gonna lie. Recent ones I've got the Ultimate Edition Brock Lesnar, and then the most not the most recent Lesnar. It was the one that came with the steel steps, the ponytail, and the camera. I found that one for $11 at Burlington. I didn't even know they sold toys there. What else I got? I got the new Target exclusive Ken Shamrock. I found the chase and the in the regular version. Couldn't
Ooh.
believe it. I'm still looking for that AJ Styles. For some reason, I can't find him.
That is definitely one that I am. It doesn't matter how much money I have to spend for it. I'm getting that whenever I can. And it's coming
Yeah,
to NLW.
yeah. I want to get like three of those because like I want to get one for regular AJ, like the TNA looking one. I want to get another one to customize it and do a Kota Ibushi 2.0 because my old custom is outdated. But
Oh yeah,
yeah, so I
yeah.
feel like that would be a good body mold to use. And yeah, another figure I got just yesterday actually, I got the Royal Rumble, I think. I don't know like the names of these things, like I guess what they'll fall under, but the Royal Rumble Damian Priest with like the white and silver. And
Mm.
yeah, I think those are the most recent figures I've picked up for wrestling.
Oh, nice. I'm kind of like you. I used to have I call it a problem. It's like a meeting between like addicts, but I definitely was towards the tail end of last year. I was just buying so many toys, and it was getting out of control. Now I'm. This is my New Year's resolution. I don't know how I'm going to stick to it, but as I'm going to try and go as far into 2023 as possible without buying any new action figures, and I don't know. I'm going to try and stick to it, but we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, so you mentioned earlier as well that you were still keeping up with the figure scene and you're also keeping up with wrestling. So, what are your favorite things in wrestling right about now?
Oh man. So just recently actually I got back into New Japan pro wrestling. I'm not gonna lie, for a period of time I stopped watching New Japan because I felt like nothing was going on. And but for some reason Wrestle Kingdom to me is oh, sorry if you hear a train in the background. I live next to a freaking train station. But pretty much with New Japan, yeah, I felt like nothing really was going on for a couple years, so I stopped watching. But every time there's like a Wrestle Kingdom, for some reason I get more excited than I do a WrestleMania because I just expect something like next level to happen. So for this year's Wrestle Kingdom, when I heard Okada versus Jay White, I'm like, all right, Okada's like, in my opinion, like the greatest in-ring wrestler ever. I'm like, all right, Jay White's good, so that should be, good. But when I heard Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay, I don't know. I'm gonna put this out there. I'm a huge Kenny Omega mark. Like, I'm not even gonna like hide it. Like, that's like truly one of my all-time favorites. So when I heard he was facing Will Ospreay, no exaggeration, I was like, this is gonna be the greatest match ever. And I'm like, this is gonna be next level. So yeah, freaking Wrestle Kingdom comes, and oh my god, that it was truly out of this world. I was so blown away by everything. The debut of Sasha Banks, or Mercedes Monet, Kenny Omega. His entrance is that entrance he had as Sephiroth from Final Fantasy. Oh my god, that was like the greatest entrance I've ever seen. And I was so happy he did it because it made sense. Because like Sephiroth is like the final boss of the game. So in a sense, he was the final boss for Will Ospreay. And I was like, wow, it just made so much sense. Okada winning for like the billionth time. Like, who would have thought that would have happened? Yeah, like, yeah, I was so excited. I'm back into New Japan again. That's definitely one of my favorite things going on. But for like AEW and WWE, I mean, I'm back interested in WWE again since Triple H is now running it. Hopefully it stays that way.
Oh yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I hope. I think everyone likes the Bloodline. They're pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel like this might be controversial, but it's like I don't want to see The Rock or Cody Rhodes fight Roman. I want to see Sami Zayn do it. I
I
think
think a lot of people do.
yeah.
But obviously that would, like, in my head I'm thinking I don't want to get my hopes up, but I really think that's the way they should go. I feel like they're booking themselves into a corner really with having Sammy not be the one to win. I do see why they would want Cody winning the WWE Championship, but give Sammy that Universal title, man. Like, just do it. Just bite the bullet and do it. I think, yeah.
Yeah, so
Wrestling is stupid. Wrestling doesn't matter. Just do it, please.
yeah, like I was thinking about that. I'm like, so what if Roman loses one belt? Like, and that was the issue. Like how you said, they booked himself into a corner by giving him both belts. Like, why would you do that? It's now it's like you could have had both storylines. Now you could have had, for example, let's just say Seth Rollins beat Roman Reigns for the WWE Championship, right? All right, that means Cody can win the Rumble. Let's say challenge Seth Rollins at WrestleMania for the WWE title. Boom, that problem solves right there. And then The Rock, if he's even coming back, The Rock doesn't even need to win the Rumble. He can just show up and be like, "Hey, I'm The Rock. Like, I'm challenging you at WrestleMania." And it's
Yeah,
like,
give him all my
there
belt.
you go. Like, you got both of them. Like, you don't have to worry about, oh, is it gonna be Cody? Is it gonna be Sammy or The Rock? Like, you could have done two of those matches easy if the belts were split.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, it'll be a good show, no matter what happens. You know, I think there's a lot of positives going in. I am looking forward to this Rumble way more than I have like any ones recently. So, you know, that should be fun. And AEW, like, I don't know what happened, but since 2023 started, they have been so much better than they were like end of 2022. Like every week, the show goes by so fast, and the matches are so sick. You know, because I think a lot of people kind of soured on AEW a bit last year, but they're building towards MGF versus Bryan Danielson in that Iron Man match, and I'm just like, oh yes, give it to me, please.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. Are you a fan of AEW really?
Oh yeah, I'm a huge fan of AEW. No exaggeration. When AEW started, I told my father, I'm like, yo, I'm never watching WWE again. I was like, it's over. I'm done. I'm not watching that no more. Cause I was so sick and tired of WWE. Like I truly was. I would like I couldn't take it no more, man. Like I don't know. And then AEW came, and obviously, for like the first year or so or two, everyone loved AEW. And I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit blinded by how do you say, like I didn't really notice that there was obviously some things they didn't do right or that was not up there, but I
You
would
put blinders on, don't you, when you really want something to
yeah.
give it a good go? And I think everyone's guilty of that. But yeah, go on. What are you saying?
No, I was gonna say, like, over the years, it's like one thing I noticed about AEW, and it sadly became a thing, is I I like when, I guess, talent that wasn't utilized in other companies get utilized, right? So it's like, oh, if someone gets released or their contract expires or whatever, it's like, oh, they're coming to AEW. That was the cool thing a couple years ago. I don't want that no more. It's like, Tony Khan, stop
No.
signing people. Like,
Yeah.
that's one thing I noticed. Like when AEW was getting bigger, it was like, okay, this guy's here. Like you should kind of stop now. And then he kept signing people. Like, you know what? Nah, I'm gonna say this. Some of the people he signed to AEW don't need to be there. Like, and I know that sounds messed up, but it's like, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, I'm gonna throw some people under the bus. Like, bro, did Swerve Strickland need to be in AEW? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, he's a great wrestler, but it's just like you sign everyone, man. Or who's another person they sign? All right, this is gonna be mean, but it's like Jake Hager. Really?
Yeah.
Like,
Having him be the main piece on the first Dynamite.
yeah, I'm like, yeah, like I don't know. I'm like, you're signing too many people. Like, obviously, people like Daniel Bryan and Adam Cole, like those are big. CM Punk, like, oh man, that's another freaking controversial person. But it's like, yeah, man, like those are, I guess, people I would understand, and even like mid card people, I get it. But it's like, dude, like just because you have the ability to sign everyone doesn't mean you should. And it's like now it's so bloated that I feel what made AEW good before was everyone had a storyline or everyone was doing something. Now there's too many people, and now I feel Tony Khan is stressing over, damn, how do I get everyone now on TV or do something with them? And that's the biggest problem I think AEW has because Tony Khan, it just has too many people.
Yeah, I mean, there's ways of booking around it. I think one of the main things, I can't remember exactly who said it, but the consensus was he had like a 2-year plan, and it was all to build to Hangman Page being the champion. And then since then, there's not really been a plan. It's kind of thrown out the window, and it's just kind of booking on the fly. So you can kind of tell a little bit that it's kind of tapered off a little bit. But yeah, I'm not going to complain about people being employed, but maybe just slow down on just kind of bulking up your roster. And yeah, I mean, I'm still looking forward to that New Japan Battle of the Valley. I know it's going to be Shingo or Okada versus whoever, and then they've got I think Jay White and Eddie Kingston as well on that show, and who else? And of course Kyrie and Sasha Banks as well. So yeah, they're really firing on all cylinders. Hopefully 2023 is a sick year for wrestling, and yeah, I mean that's really what's going on in the world of wrestling. And in terms of what are your goals for 2023? I mean, I kind of spoke about it on this channel where I sort of said what I wanted to achieve with my NLW, but is there any kind of videos that you want to make or any goals really for your work here this year?
Yeah, so for goals, it's so I guess one of the biggest things, I don't know if I'm gonna announce this on my channel, maybe I will, but I'm kind of in a sense going to be switching content, or not content, be switching how I upload content, because I mentioned it before with YouTube Shorts. I'm debating if I'm ever going to make this announcement, because to my fans or whatever, because it's like I don't know how they're going to take it, but pretty much it's like I'm going to be now focusing more on YouTube Shorts. And the reason why is because I started doing YouTube Shorts a lot in, I think, last year October, and believe it or not, it's actually done more positive to my channel, like more positive things to my channel than my actual long videos do. And I was like, huh, that's weird. So how can I take this, still do the same content that I want to do, but how can I mesh those things together? So that's a goal that I have, is really utilize YouTube Shorts and grow my channel, like much more from it. And I know some people may not like that, because some people like longer videos, but it's just, believe it or not, like my long videos actually hurt my channel than it does help it. Like, it's pretty weird. I don't know how that works. It's such an odd thing. Like, I don't know.
I think one of the things is that YouTube Shorts, they're much more likely to pop up in recommended, and you're less likely to skip it, because I've experienced this. There's stuff in my YouTube Shorts that I would never look at normally, but then you just end up like, you're drawn in, aren't you? And you kind of scroll through it, and then it feeds into the algorithm, and yeah, that's what it is. And also it's more digestible stuff. And for your stop motion, I think that would be ideal, because you can really show off what you can do, and also it's less pressure to make like a full length thing. I mean, you can still upload the full length version for people to watch, but and I my experience as well, you can still watch people's shorts and afterwards go back and watch the thing in sequence. It's a different because it's still a different experience between having it in a short form and like a long form. So yeah, I mean, if I was you, I would I'd definitely consider pursuing it. The only thing that in my view that I'm like worried about, because I want to do more shorts, but it's just spamming people's sub boxes. That's the only issue I have with mine. Like, I worry about that.
Yeah. No, that it does make sense, and that's what I'm still trying to figure out. It's like, how can I, upload these shorts but not be annoying, if that makes sense. Like, I don't want to be, someone goes on YouTube one day and they see like 17 videos in like the span of a second, and it's just like, oh man, like, I don't know. But besides that goal, some other goals real quick that I read off is, I want to make this year the biggest year for my channel, because I believe the biggest year for my channel was 2018 or 19, one of those two. That was when like my channel really got recognized, and yeah, it was just a big year for me. But now I want to make this year, like, I want somehow, some way, I want this to like top that year and just make this the biggest year possible. And that actually ties into my next goal, which is like, push myself more to do things that I normally wouldn't do. Whether that means like maybe trying out live streaming. I don't think I've done that before on YouTube, so that's something I guess I want to try. And another thing is, really funny enough, collabing with other channels, because I'm not gonna lie to you, I kind of like introvert like myself away from people, and besides like my friends and stuff. So this is actually this is my first, I guess, like star or something, or check towards that goal, because I'm doing the podcast. So I was like, oh wow, like I'm not only collaborating, but it's like with one of my favorite YouTubers as well. So like we're making progress.
Hell yeah. I get you with that as well. Like I'm terrible when it comes to like collaboration because occasionally I think of something that I want to do, and then it's just relying on the other person to have the same kind of energy level to you, and then if to like I don't know, I don't know if I'm making sense, but like you know what I mean, where you kind of I have my own motivation. I don't want to have to be relied upon, if that makes sense. So yeah, I mean, that's really cool stuff, and I've very much enjoyed having you on this podcast today. Like I said before, you're one of the names that I wanted to have on because you've got that that skill set of stop motion that I'm really interested in, like because the variety of stuff that you've got on your channel as well is really sick. And I would encourage anyone listening to check out Unraveled Pictures. Obviously links and everything will be in the description, but is there anything you want to plug quickly?
Oh man, I guess my Instagram, since I made a new one. So my Instagram is the same thing as my YouTube channel, UnraveledPictures TM. Yeah, just I guess check out my videos. You guys already subscribed to NLW, so yes, still, but check out his videos too. Watch them from beginning to end. We need that watch time. But
animators know the retention is key.
Yeah, so yeah, watch our videos from beginning to end. We need that watch time. It helps us out big time.
Thank you very much. Before we go as well, just want to quickly shout out my patrons: Leif, Brother Duzan, RSW, Piggy Wiggy 8, Jason Beggs, Kid Zap, Casey Hellschool, Devin Downlin, Ryan McCarthy, Cupid, Brandon Furman, Cringe God, Flynn Lampkin, and John. Thank you all for being patrons. I apologise for the lack of content over the past month. I hope you enjoyed the early access to NLW, and you'll also get early access to WrestleMania in its parts coming very, very soon. And of course, if you want to get early access to some of the parts for WrestleMania, just sign up to the Patreon for just $1 and then, do all that good stuff. There's a bunch of cool stuff. You can even request matches for me to make for the new XL Pro Series coming really, really soon. So that's it from me. Unraveled Pictures. Their links will be in the description below. You can do the outro.
Oh, damn. All right. So I'm gonna do my parody of a YouTuber. All right, guys. Make sure to smash that like button. Links in the description. Subscribe to the channel. I don't know the rest of this. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, but yeah. Smash
the like button in 5 seconds, or you're gonna get it. There you go.
Yeah, you're gonna get body slammed or something.
Boom! Hit a suplex on the subscribe button and unravel your finger to click on the notification bell too. There, you see what I did. Yeah. All right, from both of us, thank you very much, Unraveled Pictures. Hope to have you on again sometime, and we will catch you later.